Hello, everybody, and welcome back to our Adventurers League D&D streams for Storm King's Thunder. I'm the executive producer here at Final Show Films, John, and also the game master for the evening. And joining me today is William.
I'm William, and I'm playing Fire Tarian, human paladin of Ilmater.
And Jeremy.
Hi, I am Jeremy. I'm playing Kinvalar Erasme, the Sun Elven Blade Singer.
And Jeff.
Hi, I'm Jeff, and I'm playing the half-elven rogue Farbolt Chance.
And Aaron.
Hi, I'm Aaron, and I'm playing Miracle, a Tiefling Ranger.
And when last we left our heroes, they had just fended off the town of Nightstone from attack from an incursion from an orcish force running south from the Ardeep Forest to the north. Looks like they had been engaged with the wood elves of the forest and were running for whatever they could find to acquire defensive fortifications. And what they found was the mostly abandoned town of Nightstone. After a hectic battle and life-threatening series of events where several of the party members got knocked down, got back up, got knocked down again, and never ever going to keep them down, they managed to fend off with the aid of Flint, Milva, and the rest of the wood elf hunting party that had been chasing after these orcs, and kill the remainder of the orcs. Looking through their bodies, they discovered that they pretty much didn't have anything other than their weapons and armor, none of which was particularly good. And the Wood Elves, without saying anything, just sort of wandered back off to the north. The group nursed their wounds, bought some potions from the Berrigan brothers, who had come up to Nightzone with them, and managed to, and then put down for an evening's rest. With the drawbridge to the town still down. Well, not even for an evening's rest, just for a short rest, because you just had a long rest. The drawbridge of the town still down. The group of you were sort of gathered about in the town square, sort of just resting as Flint and Milva dragged the bodies off to throw them in the river.
Yup.
And that's where we left off. Miracle, you woke up.
Yeah.
You had a nice long rest. You really needed it. And when you wake
Great.
up, you're still in the inn, and there's just a falcon sitting on the windowsill looking at you.
Well, hello there. Sort of pull down the part of my armor that wraps around my arm. Hold the arm out.
It flies over to your arm.
Oh, let's see about getting you some breakfast.
And so you
Wander on out.
Yep. So you head out into the scene of carnage. There are about 20 orc corpses on the ground. Several of them being dragged off by Flint and Milva. Lots of blood, injury, arrows, and the rest of your party sort of scattered about, breathing right now.
To the hawk. Oh, were you startled by all this? Quite sorry. They're terribly silly.
Kinvalar is actually over against this boulder over here, just sort of sitting against it. A little, winded after nearly dying, twice? Something like that.
2 or 3 times.
Oh, Miracle. Hello.
Huh.
We had some excitement while you were orcs. Quite a fight.
You notice Flint off to one side, raising his kilt and just pissing on an orc corpse and getting smacked for it by Milva.
Sounds legit.
And you are all in the middle of taking a short rest, so if you still need to spend hit dice to heal, go ahead and do so. And anything that you guys regain on a short rest, you regain. And you do have that extra hit dice for leveling up to level 3, so. So, what are you guys doing?
Right now, Farbolt's just kind of leaning against the side of the building, probably the inn, and he's sitting there doing like the Jedi mind trick with a rock in his hand. He's figuring out a spell. After a few tries, like purplish hands suddenly appears and picks up the rock. He's like, yes!
Actually, in particular, the Arcane Trickster's mage hand is invisible. Because it's hard to pick pockets with a big
if he
hand.
chooses to. If he chooses to make it invisible.
Yeah.
Right now, he's just trying to figure out how.
Trying to get it to work. Yeah, you guys look over, see Farbolt doing a hand gesture, and occasionally a purple hand just sort of reaches out and picks up a rock, drops it. Picks up a rock, drops it.
So everybody is feeling better than I hope.
Sure, we can say that.
Relatively speaking, of course.
Less
Byron has
stabby,
basically just been like a warlord in a game of For Honor surrounded by berserkers. So, he's just like had his shield beaten and bashed on for the past 5 minutes, and his arm is kind of sore. So,
There's
that's
definitely
fair.
some sort of creakiness in the elbow joint of your arm. All right.
Oh wait. Well, we do need to once we've all gathered our wits about us. We do have a group of villagers who are headed north and may be and are likely walking into. Well, I don't want to say certain death, but certainly danger.
I suppose if they hadn't run into orcs or goblins, I suppose the elves, they generally aren't too happy with people wandering around their forests.
No, the wood elves are they are a isolationist lot, you could say. But yes, we should depart as soon as we can.
well, aside from a little stiffness, I think I'm supposed to be ready for travel.
We do have horses.
Those might be useful, yeah.
Yeah, the horses are still in town. They're just sort of
yes.
scattered a bit.
Get up, brush yourself off.
He
Okay,
stands up off of the rock.
Let's go find the horses then.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh look, horses.
Yes. Yeah, no, the horses are
There
scattered
you
about.
are.
They're still scattered about, so.
Yeah. Go round up enough horses for us.
And Miracle, you do notice that the drawbridge is down.
Okay.
They kind of busted the mechanism again, so we can't exactly rate it the same way we did last time.
Right, yeah, you managed to round up a couple of horses for the group.
Okay.
They're well trained, so it's not too terribly difficult to get them to move where you want them to go. You just sort of reach out, grab the reins, and sort of direct them. You do, however, still notice that all of the saddles have sort of Zentarum stitching on the side. So
That would be the first thing I would do is rip those off. What the horse that I take is just look at it in a little bit of a disgust. And just,
right? Yeah, so it's gonna take a minute because they're sort of stitched into the leather. So you pull out your knife and you start
Yeah, it's like take a dagger and just start shearing it off.
shearing off the Zentarum markings. Yeah, you can do that. Okay. So yeah, you have 4 horses ready to go.
Awesome. I will.
just a quick check. Saddlebags. They have like rations, that type of thing in there.
Go ahead and make an investigation check for me. Let's see what you can find.
And we're off to a roaring start.
There does seem to be a bit of travel, like sort of travel bread and small amounts of ration in the bags. Not much. It looks like they used up most of it getting to Nightstone, expecting to be reprovisioned when they got here, obviously. So
Yeah.
there's maybe a day's worth of rations between all the saddlebags.
So I will pick out the most noble looking of the horses.
That would be Zulkin's.
Yes.
Yep.
Well, I mean, I did convince Zulkin's horse to run him over.
It's true,
so
you did.
I feel like
Convince,
we have a bond already.
Convince and slap on the ass with a sword are two things that you can say, yes.
You have your way of seeing it. Kinvalar has his. So I feel like we have a bond already. So I'm going with that.
His horse does stand out. Most of them are sort of mottled brown and white mares. Zulkin's horse is actually a stallion with sort of a very well kept golden mane and a sort of a chestnut brown with some slightly darker brown spots on it.
Wonderful.
So it looks distinct from the rest of the horses.
Okay. So yeah, I will. Are we ready to? Is there anything we should do before we depart?
Milva and Flint tell you that they're going to stay behind and make sure no one comes in the broken drawbridge without meeting the wrath of this axe.
Fair point.
Oh, so, GM question.
Yeah.
As a sage, I get access. My researcher ability means if I don't know stuff, I often know where to look it up.
Mm-hmm.
Drawbridge repair instructions. We really fucked up the drawbridge.
You don't know it, but you imagine that you might have. That's something you could learn at a smithy, from a blacksmith or from a woodworker at a carpenter's or at a lumber mill.
If memory serves, a lot of those guys weren't in town anymore.
Correct. You could definitely learn how to do that from anyone that works with wood professionally or anyone that works with metal professionally.
Got it.
Those tend to be vocally passed down rather than written.
Exactly my frustration with the academic establishment in this region. Practical skills and things valuable to daily life are safe, and things like this should be preserved as... Let's go find missing people and see if that helps.
All right, so you guys just set out and ride straight north?
I mean...
Assuming north is the correct direction.
Well, Miracle, would you be able to track the orcs where they came from?
Possibly.
I'm looking at the ground and I just see a whole lot of footprints. So,
all right.
Can you?
Yeah, you can make me a survival check if you want.
Let's see what I can do with survival. 6.
There's a whole ton of footprints on the ground.
The ranger looks down, has a +1 wisdom, has a wisdom modifier of 1. I mean, there are footprints.
A whole lot of feet on the ground.
Yeah.
There's a fair amount of evidence that they were indeed here, given that their corpses are here.
You concur, Farron. That seems right. They definitely came here.
We should just start heading.
I will try to see if I can roll any better. Ha 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 ha! This is me.
What do your elf eyes see?
Exactly. I mean, something more maybe. With an 11.
With an 11?
We're in the
With-
double digits.
With an 11,
6, 7, 11.
you notice.
Farbolt knows nothing about these types of things.
It's just a lot of footprints. There are
Not
some.
much.
You could definitely see that there are horse prints too.
Okay.
You know that horses, people, like horses, humans, goblins, and orcs have been in this area.
Okay.
You know that much.
I'm going to really quick go find. I believe it was the innkeeper was the person who had. No, it was the captain of the guard. I'm going to go find her
Mhm.
again.
Yeah, she's sort of there helping
yes.
dispose the corpses.
Yes. Hello.
Yes.
You had said something about a cave up north and where the villagers had gone. That the villagers may have gone to.
Yes. If you head
Which way do we go for that?
due north from the drawbridge area will take you into the forest. I'm not precisely certain of where the caves might be. Didn't you find a map from one of the buildings?
Yes,
Did
I
you find a
did.
map from one of the buildings?
Yes, you did.
Yes, I
You
did.
had previously shown it to her too.
Yes, I did. And I think I'd shown that to everybody.
Yeah. You had said we have it.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's right. Thank you. Go back. So this will tell us which way to go.
Yeah.
So you all look at the map and you see that the map is a surveyor's map. It's not a like a this is an almanac map. So it's very, very rough directionality, basic terrain markings, but nothing super detailed. It's not a Pathfinder's map.
Well, don't worry. I don't get lost. Give me that.
All right.
Well, if you
Holds
don't
it
get lost-
upside down and starts going.
No, if you did,
Miracle starts trotting off on the horse.
Is the forest actually your favorite terrain?
Yeah.
Okay.
I do believe she turned the map.
Also, the group doesn't get lost except for magical means isn't a terrain thing. But yes, the forest is actually my favorite terrain. Elementals are my favorite enemy, for the record.
Well, I think we'd best follow.
Yeah,
Yep,
Miracle
I
has the
get on.
map and is going. All right, so you all saddle up and follow?
Yep.
All right, Miracle, make me a... so you have a map, but you turned it upside down. No. Give me a survival check with advantage, because
No,
you do have a map.
He did that for show. He'll turn it back upside right as soon as he's headed off.
Yep.
Um,
So yeah, you make me a survival roll with advantage, since you're leading the way.
okay. I will note that even if I'm bad at this, we can't get lost.
It's true. You know where you're at. It's where you're going is the question.
It's fine
Eight.
spot we need to be at.
So yeah, you find your way into the you find your way into the forest, and with the map, it's not too terribly difficult. You certainly find your way to what appears to be a cavern system. The hills around and north of Nightstone are riddled with caves, and sort of right at the edge of the forest area, you find roughly a mile north of Nightstone, you find a large cave, a large sort of cavern area that looks like it might have recently been traveled into.
Okay.
Take a look to see. There's signs of travel and stuff in around the cave, right?
Mhm.
Is it knowing? Does it look like it's like a tidy campsite, or is just a
Make me a survival
Pack
check.
of wild orcs. Just
I'm going to
Drop-
ask my hawk friend to do a quick. Do you mind helping us out a
look,
bit?
it's a cave.
Just looking from the sky, see if do a wide circle, see if there's
Jesus
anything
Christ.
unusual. Large
Cave.
amounts of people, that sort of thing.
The falcon takes
Adventurers
off.
League actually just hates us.
So Farbolt,
RNG just hates us.
looks like a cave entrance to you. You've seen lots of caves, and you're pretty certain this is one of them.
Fairly certain. There's a forest here too. Do you know
Yeah.
that?
So
Can I roll a perception check for the owl?
yes, you can.
Hawk,
Or for the hawk,
sorry.
yes, you can. Roll me a perception check for the hawk. So it flies.
That's 10 with +6.
You can't look through the hawk's eyes yet, can you?
I can't ever. That's a actual familiars and not being
Yes.
a ranger thing.
Okay.
But the hawk can generally follow my commands and is usually considered slightly more intelligent than a standard animal, able to give basic feedback like, yes, I saw a large group of people.
Yep. So the hawk is flying. What are you guys doing while the hawk circles around? You realize this is sort of a large hilly area, and sort of basically the forest begins on top of the hill and on top of the cave. So like sort of it's this large cave mouth, large hill. The cave is in the southern face of the hill, and then on top of it, you just pine trees. And so you guys are standing outside a cave.
At the moment, Kinvlar is trusting in Miracle and Miracle's new friend, so not sending relics out, just waiting for scouting to be done, keeping an eye out just in case for ambush, because we are near apparently goblin caves. Or caves, some kind of caves.
So go ahead and roll me another perception check for the hawk.
Oh, okay.
Wow, roll over a 10. Somebody's got to do it.
I'm mostly hoping someone will name this hawk at some point.
There we go.
All right.
Because you guys know how I end up naming these things.
All right. And the
21.
hawk is still flying off. Nobody's doing anything after another while. I need you to make another perception check for the hawk.
Sure.
As it sort of goes
Actually,
south.
As Miracle's waiting for the hawk, he'd like to make a perception check just in his general area, make sure
Sure.
we're not getting surrounded as we wait for recon.
Sure. All of you sort of hanging around can make perception checks as well if you'd like.
Yeah.
Yes.
You get a sense that the hawk is sort of rounding around
Oh,
to the opposite
sorry.
side.
Double digits.
That is not an advantage, but
That's fine.
17.
17 is the first one.
Perception.
The hawk is significantly more perceptive than me and rolled a 16.
All right. I need one more perception roll from
Yes.
the hawk now.
Jesus.
So, Fire
Can we get a
and
new
Kinvalar-
random number seed, please?
There you
That's
go.
a natural 20 for the hawk,
Yep. So, Fire
who
and
has been
Kinvalar,
apparently stealing all of our luck.
you're sort of sitting there going, it's a field. There's a hill. There's some trees. You're petting relics, Kinvalar.
Yes, I'm distracted.
Farbolt, definitely you hear something. You're not sure what, just sort of like ambient noise, maybe coming from the cave. Miracle, you're not seeing anything, but you are hearing just faint sort of splashing sounds from inside the cave.
Given that I do have some experience with being, would I, here's a question. Do they sound predatory? Natural?
it sounds like something is splashing, but it's hard for splashing to be predatory. So you're hearing splashing sounds. You're not sure. You know something is making them. It's not like something just. It's not like a drip. It is something splashing around somewhere.
Creature, got it.
Yeah, you're just not sure what or why or where, or precisely where.
Just gonna notch narrow, just in case.
Yeah.
As I get distracted by the rare appearance of a kitty. Yeah.
And then after a little bit, the hawk and sort of lands on your arm or on your shoulder, and sort of communicates to you through a series of pecks, and like it's pecking on the side of your head and like on the horns to indicate like sort of this is the hill, this is where you are, this is where I went, and it seems to indicate that there is a river that flows into the hill, sort of a stream that flows into the hill on the west side of the hill. And on the east side of the hill, there is a tunnel that sort of comes out of it.
So the water leads inside. There's also a tunnel from the back end.
You guys are on the south side, so basically left and right there are additional potential entrances, and there's the one in front of you.
Kind of hearing something, Farbolt just kind of... He doesn't go into the cave or anything. He's just standing outside and going, so, like bears or wolves or things make their homes in these types of caves?
Maybe. Does the splashing sound large enough to be a bear?
You couldn't tell. Like it's the fact that it's this loud means it's probably something large. Could be a bear.
Something large that splashes around in the water. Be my guess.
Right.
Which, could be human.
Thought I heard something inside the cavern there, so...
Yes, I know. There's something inside the cavern. Could be humans, could be critters.
Well, I suppose the only way to find out...
So, care to take a look?
Sure.
You guys want to go straight in?
I'm gonna dismount. I'm first going to excuse me. Look over Farbolt. If you could perhaps do a little scouting of the entrance, make sure that we're not walking into anything.
Into anything? Sure. I can take a look around. Can I?
Sure.
Make sure no.
Hang on.
We're all gonna die.
Not necessarily.
I would like to have a session where the dice roll higher than 10 on average, please.
Actually, so... have to... I'm trying to remember if passive perception acts as a DC, where if you meet it, you pass, or if
Yes.
you have to exceed it, you pass.
Then you have to meet it.
Because I think your roll is their DC, isn't it?
Yes.
So they have to meet your roll.
Yeah, because they're the one defending.
Yeah. So you
Defenders win the tie.
Yeah, so Farbolt, you sort of sneak up to the cave, and you're perfectly fine. For the like, there's nothing really in your way to sort of distract. So you're just sort of quietly walking, and you sort of put your back up to the cave and sort of sidestep towards it, and get to the point where you're looking around, and it's kind of dark in there, so you have to lean a little bit further out. And when you do, your foot just sort of slops into a puddle of mud, and then it's just sort of and you look down and see that you've just completely coated your leg in mud by stomping into this puddle. And as you look up, you hear, and you see, sort of in the cave proper, a pair of large ogres. One of whom was sitting in sort of a large pool of mud. Looks like it was taking a bath in the mud. And the other was sort of standing around in the middle of a group of stalagmites. Looks like it may have been sleeping, and then the sound woke it up for whatever reason. Because their passive perception is 8. And they sort of
course it is.
They sort of look up at you and seem confused.
If you roll higher than a 3, they would never have seen you.
They don't seem immediately aggressive, but that might be because they weren't expecting to see someone.
Just kind of slowly back out and just going, cave's not empty. Cave's not empty.
All right, so you.
Oh dear, are we about to fight?
And you hear this, thum, 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 along with this sort of slightly more squishy variant of this, thum, thum, as this, like the sound of wet feet slapping on the ground, along with other large feet slapping on the ground, are heading towards the entrance of the cave.
This is gonna be a week, isn't it?
And you hear, do any of you speak Goblin?
I am dismounting from my horse. I do not speak Goblin. I speak Orc.
No.
I
not
speak
Goblin.
a lot of languages. Let me check. Nope.
So you hear large, high-pitched voices going inside, and you hear these larger creatures, these ogres, sort of calling in as well in the same language, but in a much deeper tenor. They don't seem to be exiting the cave. They just sort of seem to be investigating what they saw.
Are we going to make a stand here, or horses?
Well, if the villagers are inside and
Are the
prisoners,
villagers inside?
Couldn't see past the ogres. And yes, Farbold is backing out of the cave.
If we come in from another entrance now, they'll be aware. But I don't know. I don't.
Oh, it's gonna be all week with this, isn't
Gets
it?
distracted by the hawk.
Sort of pecking at your horns.
We've got a couple of choices. We can either go in and attempt to parlay or fight with these ogres, whichever is the option that ends up being possible, or we can try and either find a new cave entrance or sneak past them.
I personally don't see why we need to take a stand here right now. We should be able to outdistance them on the horses and look at one of the other entrances.
Are you guys still standing
Well,
next to
I'm
the cave
concerned.
entrance?
No, I
we would've
backed
moved
up
back.
into the tree line at the very least.
I'm concerned that,
Can I make a
well,
stealth
if
check?
they are in there and they are
I'm trying
alive,
to move away.
Sure, make a stealth check.
Sure, we will make stealth checks. Yeah.
I
What
can
armor
make a
am I
check.
wearing?
Yeah.
You made a
That's
check.
an 8.
Yes.
Jesus Christ!
What the hell? I'm not.
So, for those at home, We have just rolled 3 stealth rolls. 2 of them are at a +5. None of us got a. What the fuck? Okay,
We just
have
need like a
rolled
list
stealth
of
rolls.
everything that's been rolled in this campaign.
It's okay. You're getting them out of the way early.
And this was an 8, which was a natural.
John,
6.
you can't say that when it's been 3 sessions of nothing above 10.
This is
2
episode 4.
stealth, which were natural 2s. And
I got an idea for a dwarven fighter.
oh my god.
I think this is episode 4. This might be episode 3. I might be counting wrong. Either way. Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
All 3 of those stealth checks were natural 2s. Mine, I have a -1 dexterity. So
Yes.
So we got an 8, a 7, a 7, and a 1. And
Oh.
an ogre's
I
passive
technically
perception
rolled highest.
is an 8. So while you guys sort of back up, and sort of like are standing next to the tree line, figuring that you're at a good distance. Nobody's gonna, they're not coming out of the cave.
my armor's too shiny.
And just out of from the cave mouth, just this massive tree trunk with a pointed end just comes flying out towards you guys.
If it's flying at someone that isn't me, I would like to impose disadvantage with my shield.
Okay. Yeah, so you see it and you sort of whip that shield out. I don't think a 12 hits any of you.
Yeah.
Nope.
Thankfully, no.
And so yeah, just massive javelin just comes flying out, and you very quickly, BAM! Fuck! Just sort of, just knock it out of the way, and like your already sore elbow just hurts a little bit more, but you do manage to knock it free. As a second one comes flying.
Well, shoot.
Do 1, 2, 3, 4. Miracle. Does a 25 hit you?
Oh, fuck.
You take 8 points of piercing damage as this massive javelin just sort of comes careening out and smacks you in the shoulder and sends you tumbling back into a tree that
And
you suddenly sort of like as you hit the tree, a sudden spark of realization pops into your brain of, oh, behind the tree.
I don't mean to be presumptuous, but I believe that we are fighting the ogres.
So it seems.
So are you guys just gonna keep standing there?
No, I think we're gonna go try and kill the ogres.
All right, so you run towards the cave. Let me go ahead and get initiative rolls from everybody as I put you on the correct map.
Why is our game like horribly cursed?
I wasn't here the first session. What happened that cursed this game?
I don't even know.
Like, did we murder a village of children before I got here?
I mean, we're rolling well on initiative, so we will miss all of our attacks before they hit all theirs.
Maybe it will give them a cold by the time they go.
So this is going to take, for whatever reason, Roll20 has decided it wants to be very slow today, so it might take me a minute to move tokens around. I apologize for that. Who are we missing on the initiative? We don't have...
No, this has been a trend. Rolls that don't matter roll well.
And
I mean, initiative matters.
Go ahead, and we're just going to have Rilix... does Rilix get his own initiative?
Rilix does not get attacks.
Okay, so Rilix and Hawk.
Rilix,
and the
I
Hawk
can use him to deliver touch spells, but otherwise he does not get attacks.
And the Hawk moves on its own initiative. Moves on Miracle initiative.
Moves on my initiative only when I spend my action for the Hawk to do a thing.
Correct.
Well, they can move on your initiative without you spending anything. I was literally just reading the Beastmaster Ranger and all the other Ranger abilities.
It just
that's why I also know that you're not getting lost is specific to your favorite terrain.
It is. I said that as I was rereading it, and it's bulleted in a weird way because there's all these bullets of cool things, and right above it, it says in your favorite terrain.
So, do any of you speak Giant?
No.
Yes,
All right.
Someone took a
you
useful
speak
language.
Giant. Hey.
4 languages.
So
Oh.
you hear a distinctly feminine giant voice going, "Make sure you leave the squishy ones for me, knob." And a distinctly masculine giant voice going, "I get your own."
Which one?
Who's the squishy one? Aside from not Fyron.
How do you determine feminine when they're both speaking in a guttural bass?
It's the word choice mostly in giant. None of the other three of you cannot tell. Only someone who knows giant can tell.
Fair enough.
How did I end up at the front of this group?
Go ahead and rearrange yourselves however you want to be. I just copy pasted you over there. So
I mean,
As an
Kindle are
order,
staying
I
in the
tend
front.
to be back.
A total side note: am I the only person for whom Fyron's token looks somewhat faded,
Um,
and I don't see a name for him or anything?
I mean,
I
not
don't see
faded,
Fyron's
but
name either.
It does seem like the name might be turned off and something else might be different.
I don't see a name.
Like, I think it's just the coloring on the
There we go.
image. But
Oh, okay.
I don't know what you're talking about. Nothing's
just
wrong.
because you fixed it doesn't mean it wasn't wrong.
Nothing's wrong. So yeah. Let's see what their initiative's going to be. Farbolt's was 18s.
I'm sure they're going on 22 somehow.
Because that's how it works.
With the probably minus dexterity that an ogre has.
No, it's just that initiative only matters so much as we can actually effectively do anything with our
I
initiatives.
mean, you're not wrong.
Yeah, that's what I mean by the rolls that don't matter roll well. Like that perception check that I rolled a natural 20 when I needed a 5, which would have been made on 2.
First, I need to actually get roll 20 to stop being a pain. Then,
Just as a secondary check, do you have Roll20 editor up in 2 tabs? Because that
I
will
do.
fuck it up.
I do, because I have to have one page for the stream and one
Okay.
page for me.
That is probably contributing to your slowdown.
Yeah, it wasn't as bad on Nightstone, but it's really bad on this map.
Yeah.
Anyways, so
I'm letting you know because I've run into that one.
yeah, so the ogres knob is going on a 15, and Thog is going on an 8, on a 5. Sorry, and these guys in the back we have. And I'm going to read out their names because they're funny to me, but you guys can't see them. Gleek is going on a 12. Lop is going on a 12. Niche is going on a 15. Pox is going on a 15. And Slitter Dabber is going on a 12.
Okay, those are pretty good.
Litter dabber.
What's your name, Goblin? My name is Slitterdabber.
Not that it matters because they're all going after you guys. So,
Yup.
Quinvalar, as you approach the entrance to the cave, you see these two large ogres that are sort of standing at the entrance, sort of a stack of javelins, these massive javelins off to one side, and each of them wielding these massive, basically trees that have had the branches shorn off.
All right. So I drop into my blade song stance.
All right.
And I am moving up to Well, the only place I can. And I am attacking that one there.
Are you making a green flame blade attack?
Yes, I am.
Yay.
All right, go ahead and make your attack. It's a natural 1.
We're all gonna die.
At some point, this will stop being surprising, and someone's gonna tune into the stream and just be like, "Why are these guys so chill about never rolling a 6 or above?"
Oh my god.
Oh, that's
I
lovely.
blame myself for this. Somehow I've
That is
infected this
lovely.
game.
Oh, so with a natural 1,
I miss, right? No, I that means I crit, right?
that you miss. Fortunately, Fyron, where are you? I'm seeing you in 2 different places.
I'm diagonally down southeast.
Okay, so it didn't, for whatever reason, on the GM layer, it didn't update on the GM screen. It didn't update where you were when you moved. Okay, so yeah, no, you just swing and miss.
Okay.
You expect the ogres to be coming at you, but they're just sort of very chill right now. Also, the one that you're attacking is covered in mud and smells really bad, so like the combination of the odor being given off and their lack of caring of your existence sort of throws you off your attack, and you just come up really, really short.
I mean, that could have happened to anybody, really.
Yeah, and it probably will, as it's Miracle's turn.
Okay.
I mean, don't roll a natural 1 with an arrow attack, because I'm right between you and them.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't really have a clear shot, and I don't trust how we've been rolling.
You actually do have a very clear shot. The cave entrance, while narrow, is tall, and these
And
ogres are
gigantic.
Okay.
these ogres are twice
That's
the
fair.
size of your
So
party.
I can essentially
aim over.
they don't have cover from my allies.
No, they do not have
So
cover
yeah.
because of your allies.
I mean, a +2 or +5 doesn't really help us much, because we can't even hit...
You can't even hit 10, yeah.
we can't hit armored commoners who are just wandering their way down the street oblivious to everything.
I would like to see Quinvillar trying
Okay.
to just attack, murder civilians.
And failing miserably.
Just
The party goes on a murderous rampage just because they know their total incompetence will mean it doesn't matter.
On a murder spree, no one was killed.
more of a spree, really, less murder.
It's like lawful good paladin attacks civilians because he knows he can't hit them.
Anyway,
What you
Okay.
doing, Miracle?
Yeah, just going for that longbow shot.
An 18
18?
hits.
Yeah.
Roll the damage. Which one
6
were you aiming
damage.
at? Which one were you aiming at?
The one that Quinvillar's attacking.
All right.
Uh,
Yeah, you lean back, arrow sort of stabs into its shoulder. Doesn't seem to really notice all that much, but
it's a thought that counts.
At least I hit something.
it's true.
Hey!
It's true. It's very true. Farbolt.
I try to hide from where I'm at.
Okay, make a stealth check.
Hey,
Yeah, no, you're pretty confident that you're pressed up against the wall, and you know where that mud puddle is now that you slipped in, so you're not stepping on it.
And now that he's hidden, Farbolt quietly sneaks away from the rest of the party.
It's all right. No one can see me.
And
Fuck
kind of lean out the corner, and I'm chucking a dagger at the one in front of Quinvillar.
You have advantage on the attack. Because they have an 8 passive perception. A 17 hits. Roll damage with sneak attack.
And
All right, so that's 17 damage. This one elicits a response as you manage to bury the dagger right in the same wound that the arrow was already in. And so you sort of like the dagger blade and arrowhead sort of collide and push deeper. And that gets a... And, Miracle, you hear, "Oh, fuck!"
I approve.
That makes it Firen's turn.
Okay. There's a lot of
Join
enemies
me
here.
in the front lines.
There's a lot of enemies here that need to be dealt with. Don't know why I'm doing this, because I'm going to take a turn preparing and never hit anything, but I'm going to activate my channel divinity for Sacred Weapon.
Okay, what does that do?
It takes my action, but for the next minute, my weapon emits bright light in the 20-foot radius and dim light in 20 feet beyond that, and I add my charisma modifier to attack rolls made with that weapon. Minimum bonus of plus.
Alright.
And it becomes magical if it wasn't magical, which doesn't really matter against these guys, but still.
Okay. Alrighty.
My attacks go up by a couple points.
That makes it the other turn. So you hear a lot of goblin chittering from the room, but you figure they probably can't shoot at you because the ogres are in the way. Which, hey, I mean, getting spotted means that the ogres came to the door rather than being out in the middle of the room. So, hey, Farbolt, you actually helped.
I did something useful.
Nob looks down at the sort of the arrow and dagger in his shoulder, and then at the puny elf in front of him. Wham!
Bring it.
And swings at you with this tree. Fortunately, a 9 misses, doesn't it?
Yes, because my armor class is 17 right now, thanks to the blade song.
So this massive tree trunk of a club just slams down at you, and you go stepping off to one side as the club crashes into the ground, cracking the ground underneath where your feet were. And you just sort of have this brief flash in your brain of that would hurt.
Yes, but I don't show it.
No, never shows, but you know. And the other one looks over and in giant, "That's not how you do it. This is how you do it." And rears back and slams down at Quinvalar.
And I would like to use
Of course.
action to impose disadvantage.
All right. So the first roll was a 23.
Okay.
The disadvantage roll was a 21.
Okay. I will I will use my reaction to throw up shield. So my armor class is now 22.
All right.
Hey!
Ooh.
I helped!
So you see
Eat
this.
that, fucker!
You see this giant club coming down at you, and you're like, you don't have a lot of space to move here. So you just sort of flick the sword away, raise up your other hand, and this this sort of blue sheen barrier erupts around you that the Great Club slams into. There's this sparkling of arcane energy as the Great Club hits nothing, and then is bounced back by the shield spell.
I couldn't deflect his club away from you, but I could deflect it into the shield rather than you.
No, it's good. All right, and that makes it Quinvalar's turn again. Quinvalar had to step up and answer a phone. So we're gonna wait till he gets back, and Miracle.
Okay, shooting again.
All right. A 10 misses. As you fire over, you sort of like readjust for the fact that they're sort of swinging great clubs and fire, and it sort of skids off the roof of the cave entrance. Anything else?
Nope.
All right, Jeremy, you're back. It's your turn.
Yes, sorry about that. Somebody decided that calling at 8 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday was a good idea. All right, so for my bonus action, I am going to cast. Which one was I gonna do? Magic weapon.
Okay, so your sword gleams with a blue arcane light.
Yep. And now it's a little bit better of a chance to hit, and I will
Flame blade.
green flame blade this fucker. So that's a 21.
A 21 hits.
All right. So 6 damage.
6 slashing damage, and this green
6 slashing
fire
damage and 5 flame to the other.
erupts from the wound and jumps over to the other one as you deal an amount of damage to both.
Yep.
Green flame blade is such a good game.
It is.
I really like it.
Especially good for wizards who don't get an extra attack ever.
It's also good for Eldritch Knights. So
I actually may get one later because of my archetype.
that makes it
I don't
Firen.
remember.
Oh, sorry, that makes it Farbolt. Farbolt.
Well, try to hide again.
All right. You feel like you're sufficiently hidden.
Hidden. And then, okay, distracted again. Dagger at the same one.
Advantage on the attack. Well, you rolled a 24 both times, so roll damage with sneak attack.
Oh.
4 damage on the thing, and 9 damage on the sneak attack. So that's 13 damage. Isn't bad.
You do actually get an extra attack at level 6.
As you sort of like hide back, flip out another throwing dagger, catch it, lean back out, and just sidearm that thing. Kunvalar, you see something small and sharp fly past your face and sort of nail the one on the left, sort of in the eye. And it,
Good shot.
It sort of leans back, and again you hear cussing and giant miracle. Firen.
Which one of these is looking the most injured?
The one on the left is the only one you guys have been hitting.
Let's keep up that trend as I swing my sacred longsword.
See, all your good rolls were waiting until combat. That hits. Roll your damage. 6 slashing damage. Yeah, and you cut into it. Alright, and that makes it their turn. The goblins, once again, can't do anything as they wait. Nob, tired of being hit, decides to hit back. But
as you do.
14 doesn't hit Kinvalar.
Nope. Ha-ha!
So again, you dance out of the way of that great club. The other one looks down, swings at Kinvalar.
And my shield comes up.
Yeah, I can do this all day.
So a 24 would have hit Kinvalar, but Firen leaps into the air and just uppercuts the great club with his shield, sending it back because an 8 drastically misses Kinvalar.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I was kind of hoping for. I can do this all day.
So 5 years later, the fantasy version of a physical therapist is like, so what were you doing when your arm got so injured? Like, this seems like repeated.
Yeah, you haven't had a chance to rest since you were using the same arm to block a dozen orcs. So
Yeah.
you feel like you might do some permanent damage to your arm if you keep this up.
I
Firen
am
getting
Paladin
cheated
of Il Mater. It is my job to do this.
The pain feels good, though. It feels like you're getting closer to your god.
I have divine health, sir.
Ilmater, the god of masochists everywhere. That makes it Kinvalar's turn.
Nice. All right.
I have divine health, sir. I can't suffer abnormalities like that.
Let me see if.
I feel like Paladins of
there's
Ilmater
anything-
should willingly give up their
One, two.
divine health.
Only if they're taking it on for someone else.
So, would it be a bonus action to reach up, grab one of those daggers, and yank it out and toss it back to Firebolt? Would that be a full
It
action?
would be a full action, yeah.
Damn. Okay. That would have been cool.
You'd have to climb up the ogre to get to it. And
That's
they're
tempting.
all
That's
pretty high.
really tempting.
No,
But
stop.
no,
But I've got several
instead-
daggers.
What was that?
I will instead. I am going to. Yeah, I'm just going to attack him. 25 actually.
All right, yeah, no, that hits.
So that is 10
All these good rolls on the
Plus
armor
green
class 11
flame.
ogres.
to the other one. So 10 slashing to the one in front of me, and 5 flame to the
All
other.
right. It is still up, but
All right.
it is looking like it might fall down at any moment.
Wonderful.
And that makes it Miracle's turn.
Miracle's just gonna shoot.
Shoot thine arrow.
I mean,
Engage
five.
the
You could-
shoosting.
You could send the hawk in to deal the killing blow if you wanted.
For
25
3
hits.
damage.
25
You really
hits.
want me to burn 8 hours finding a new animal companion, don't you?
A 25 hits.
But
And it falls over because it had 1 hit point left.
Of course it did.
Well, that just opened up the door to all the goblins.
Right?
And Farbolt. It falls backwards into the mud puddle. I need Kinvalar to make a dexterity save, by the way.
Oh, wonderful.
Or be splashed with mud.
I believe I want to check something to make sure. Oh no, just acrobatics checks, not dexterity saves. Okay. That's okay. My dex save is not great. 16.
Yeah, you managed to get out of the way as this massive tidal wave of mud splashes towards you.
Oh, good. I don't want to ruin my clothing.
Oh, the ogre is dead. It is still a massive blockage in the doorway, so you would have to climb over it to get in. So the 4 squares immediately in the 4 squares immediately in the doorway there to the side is difficult terrain.
Gotcha.
I'm going to go ahead and mark it for you.
You might just leave the token there and just put like an X on it.
The more tokens I delete, the faster Roll20 works.
That's fair.
Well, step out here, and this time I'm just going to throw 2 daggers at this other ogre.
Okay. So you don't get advantage, but one of them
Nope.
does get sneak attack because you have an ally in melee with it. So we'll just take that as your 2 separate rolls.
Yep.
The first one hits, the second one misses. So
Oh,
roll,
okay.
roll damage once, and you can add your sneak attack to it. 7 for the dagger, and 4 for that's the first time you've rolled sneak attack, and it was lower than the dagger damage. But yeah, so 7 damage with the dagger, and 4 with the sneak attack, which still is above 10, which still means you're doing